Patrick, we're in July now, midway point of the year. I thought it would be good to go back and look at the three pillars that you talked about in the first community call of 2023, looking at standardized vocabularies, standardized data network, and standardized open source tools, and the work that could be done by the community on all three of those in 2023. We're at the midway point, still work to do, but do you want to reflect a little bit, maybe starting with vocabularies, especially since we had a session on that this month, on where we are and where we need to go?
I'm really proud of the progress we've made as a community. At the start of the year, we laid out that these are core pillars that are really the foundation to enable us to collaborate and generate evidence. And so we wanted to double down on the effort we put towards working together towards vocabularies, tools, and our data network. In the vocabulary space, I'm really proud of the work that the community is led to really try to harden our approach to generating the vocabulary. At the start of the year, we conducted a landscape assessment. We now have a new community contribution approach, and we now have a well-defined roadmap that's laying out our strategy for what we're going to be doing for the vocab going into all the way through 2024. So I appreciate the work that Anna Ostropolitz, Alexi, Christian, the entire vocabulary team have done as they showcased last month.
How about the standardized data network? I know that was a big part early in the SOS challenge.
Absolutely. So, as a community, we want to generate evidence from as many data sources as possible. And to do that, we need to know which data sources are fit for use. And so really proud of the work that Claire Blacketer has led. Establishing database diagnostics is a tool that allows us to determine which databases are appropriate, and excited to see that already we've had 35 data partners across our network who've contributed their database profile, and that enabled us to look at all 4 of the studies going on during the Sisyphus challenge. I hope that actually really can serve as a springboard for us to not only expand the number of databases that can participate in OHDSI studies, but also expand the number of studies that we can conduct now that we have this really innovative tool to allow us to determine which databases are fit for use.
Yeah, we talked about the session we had on vocabularies. We also had a session on Atlas, and that's part of kind of the open source tools, the standardized open source tools. So where do you feel like we are in that area?
It's great to see how much collaboration is going into our open source development. Just looking at our HADES tools, there's been a remarkable number of releases and innovations that have come out across the entire tech stack. And there's been a huge amount of progress made. Want to thank Martine and Anthony, Jenna, Aik, Katie, JPEG, the list goes on with all of the contributions across all of the packages that have been made. And what's even more exciting is now we're seeing how all of those packages are fitting together into one common cohesive unit. So the idea that someone can go download the entire suite of OHDSI tools and make them accessible is really going to be a game changer, as we demonstrated during the Sisyphus challenge by being able to design a study and execute it using common tools. Also proud of the work that's being made with our Atlas work group to not only develop a tool that everybody relies on, but now really trying to make that much more user-focused. And the input that we captured last month is going to be invaluable for us to think about charting a path forward for how we continue to develop these open community tools.
We're only at the midway point of the year. Obviously, in the near term, 2 symposiums coming up, European and Asia Pacific in July. People can now register for the Global Symposium, of course, in October in East Brunswick, New Jersey, USA. But in a more general, kind of high-level sense, what are you hoping, maybe 1 or 2 things you're really hoping the community can focus on for the second half of 2023?
Yeah, what I hope we see for the rest of the year is a lot more collaboration and a lot more impact. And now that we've focused on these pillars of standardized vocabulary, data network, and tools, we have a foundation in place that can enable us to do more studies, to collaborate more cohesively across the community, and to generate evidence that's really impacting the lives of patients. So I hope to see a lot more of that coming out at the symposium, and also hopefully fostering collaborations that go well beyond to have an impact in the patients that we all serve.
Thanks for joining, Patrick.
Thanks, Craig. Science!